When there's a wound due to trauma, in a matter of minutes, a clot to stop the bleeding begins to form. Not so with those suffering from haemophilia, which is a group of hereditary genetic disorders that impairs the body's ability to form a clot. It affects about 1 in 10,000 people in the population. Most haemophiliacs are men because it is an X-linked blood disorder where there's a 25% possibility of carrier mothers passing the defective gene to their sons.
Individual with the disorder lacks what we call a factor that is important in blood clotting. This factor is in 80% of cases what we call factor 8. This male child with haemophilia will probably have the first bleed during circumcision.
When it refuses to stop.
When they refuse to stop bleeding.
Unfortunately, there is very little awareness about the condition.
They get a lot of pain, a lot of swelling, limited joint movement. They get to miss a lot of school. They get to miss work. And we've seen instances of school teachers beating a child with haemophilia, and then they are bleeding into the head or they are bleeding massively into their buttocks.
Currently, treatment is with factor 8 or 9 extracted from blood. Some haemophiliacs bleed spontaneously without any physical impact and need more factor replacement than others. Bennett Opuda is an example.
I can have between 2,000 units to 8,000 units. So if you say $1 to 1 unit, 2,000 is $2,000. So if I can take up to 8,000 units, so that's $8,000 under 24 hours.
Sometimes sufferers experience a premonition.
How we know is by urine. A day you can pass urine like 4 or 5 times or more than that.
Mrs. Patricia Uchegu says her daughter Oluchi's last bleed started after a fall in the kitchen. 11-year-old Oluchi has to be carried about to move from one place to another. Oluchi's is the only known case of a female with haemophilia in Nigeria.
My mom does not want a school that will be upstairs because stress and all that makes it get worse.
How long does it take to treat it?
In 3 to 4 days, patient can return back to normal if it's not a very major bleed.
Haemophiliacs need physiotherapy in order to function well after joint swellings have subsided. And Rotimi Karim, the only certified physiotherapist for haemophiliacs in southwest Nigeria, cares for them at Luth.
Because of these bleeding disorders, most of them are crippled. They will not be able to attend schools for years. They will be at home. And when you look at everything, they are down, depressed, and their quality of life is down. But by the time we now discover that with physiotherapy, we can still restore the movement.
What is the future of haemophilia treatment?
The science was thinking about gene therapy. Okay, we are looking at what's causing this haemophilia. The genetic defect, is it possible to correct that genetic defect?
With the formation of the Haemophilia Foundation of Nigeria, the bleeding disorder is now attracting more attention. But experts say more must be done to make factor 8 and 9 more readily available and accessible in the country. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.